To Western Australia now, and the town at the centre of a 21st century gold rush. Oblivious to the global recession, Boddington has been happily going about its business, building what will soon be the country's biggest gold mine. The local unemployment rate has dropped to almost zero, and the property market is booming, with thousands of workers flooding into town. Ros Thomas reports.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning, an hour and a half southeast of Perth in the Darling Ranges. And behind its sleepy facade, the little town of Boddington is gearing up for the onslaught of thousands of hungry miners about to start their day.
Between 5:30 and 7, we probably have 150 people walk through the doors. Newspapers, toasted sandwiches, sausages, you name it, they want to buy it.
You've got a bacon and egg and sausage burger.
Traffic jams in Boddington, particularly with the start of shift in the morning at 5:30 in the morning when the 4,000 people are turning up for work at site. Yeah, you struggle to walk across the road.
From 5 o'clock onwards, it's just like Bourke Street. Yeah. it's getting big.
Boddington's pot of gold lies just 10 minutes out of town, owned by US mining giant Newmont. Its open-cut pit will eventually dwarf all that have come before it. In all, it's taken 4,000 workers, 3 years and $3.5 billion to build the costliest gold mine in Australian history.
For the first 5 years, we will be the biggest gold mine in Australia. Eventually, it will be the size of the Perth CBD.
Since the project's inception in the late 1990s, the gold price has trebled, and the mine expects to yield more than 1 million ounces a year, about $1.6 billion worth at current prices. Perched on a hill on the road to the mine is the workers' camp, where the 1,000-strong workforce now operating the mine will be digging in for the next 2 decades. Locals in town are banking on gold as a safe bet and have sunk their money into small businesses they hope will see them into retirement when the mine reaches the end of its life in 2023.
It's going gangbusters. I think that at the moment, somewhere in the order of the last 6 months, we've spent more than $30 million in the local community. And for a community of a dozen or so businesses, that's a lot of money.
You think you're sitting on your own gold mine here?
I'm hoping I am, but time will tell. Yeah.
John Stewart bought the only supermarket in town just 6 weeks ago, but is already watching his customers queuing up at the checkout. Across the road, Kingsley Foster's garage has doubled its turnover in 3 years, and the only pub in town has become a very lucrative watering hole. Since buying the Boddington Hotel and the bottle shop 4 years ago, Yvonne Hoskins has increased her staff from 7 to 19. On their busiest night, they'll have to spear 8 kegs, while the kitchen dishes up 110 meals in 2 hours.
200 steaks a week we go through, probably 30 kgs of spuds, and then everything else that goes with it.
But the influx of thousands of miners hasn't come without its challenges. The town is squeezed for accommodation, and prices verge on the ridiculous.
This cottage here, this is the 5th time it's been on the market. I originally marketed it in, would have been 1996 for $45,000. It's now currently on the market for $349,000.
Tony Collins has been selling real estate in town for 14 years, but says she never thought Boddington could sustain its housing boom when the bubble had burst for markets everywhere else.
We're pretty insulated here. We not only have the mining, but we've got the location from Perth, and that's the main thing. An hour to the coast and an hour to the city. I think we've held up really well with the recession. I don't think it's had any effect at all.
For $1,000 a week, that'll get you a nice 4x2 house. Nothing special other than that.
Shire President Gary Sherry is happily presiding over a boomtown. Around every corner you'll find a new home under construction and land being carved up for sale. And the mine's American owner Newmont has helped pay for new childcare facilities and a medical centre. Quite a spectacle of economic growth when small towns all over the country are in rapid decline.
Certainly we're a boom town, but I don't see a bust for Boddington. while things will calm down once the construction of the gold mine is finished, there'll be continued growth over 20 years as the mine slowly develop their resource, and that is 20 years of growth for our town.
No one here likes to be reminded of how only a few hours down the highway, the small hamlet of Ravensthorpe had the same high hopes when BHP rode into town exalting the windfalls to be made from its nickel mine. There, the dreams of early retirement ended abruptly last year with BHP's sudden exit from Ravensthorpe, only 8 months after the mine opened.
While I have that nagging doubt about the mine meeting its promises, yeah, there'll still be opportunities in Boddington.
The last time I looked at the ABS statistics, Boddington and surrounding districts had an unemployment rate of 0.3%. I would challenge anyone anywhere in Australia to be able to better that.
With the livelihoods of so many now resting on the gold rush here, Boddington is under pressure to exceed its economic expectations. But all signs point, for now, to this town cementing its reputation as recession-proof.
I think some of the romance has disappeared. Now it's just a mine. It's the same as any other bauxite, iron ore. It's just a mine, and we look at it for the economic prosperity it brings our town.
A really big mine.
A really big mine. Really big prosperity.
Ros Thomas with that report.